Human Rights
Yo,
Committee.
yo,
It is more often
yo.
a case of guilty
Let's
until
go
proven
get into
innocent
this.
there. Arrests in Japan may lead to a lengthy stay in a police detention center. Under Japanese law,
the normal
suspects can be
match,
detained
bro.
for up to
Why did-
23
why did
days
Paul's Harbor
without a
get
charge. That's
somehow
without a charge.
eliminated
And you
from
are
my
not able to
subscription
request
list?
bail during this period. After that, if charged, then the public prosecutor has discretion to extend
Oh,
detention,
here it is.
discretion
How
to
did I-
subject
I wasn't not there
which
before.
is generally given. This may lead to several months in detention, even for what would be considered a minor crime in many other countries. So they're not kidding around when they say, yeah, if you're over there, it's not innocent until proven guilty. It seems to be guilty until proven innocent. Suspects are entitled to one free visit from an on-duty lawyer during the first 3 days of their detention. And visits by consular authorities are possible, but often difficult to arrange. It is also
Okay, I'm done with that.
Breathe easy. Watch your side and
Welcome
never
back to Paul's
quit.
Tech News. Friends, I don't know what roads you have traveled down so far this year, whether it was the newly paved superhighway of prosperity or the rugged dirt path also of prosperity, but with way better scenery and much faster. But no matter what 2023 has thrust upon you so far, let us resolve to thrust back repeatedly and with great vigor so that we might finish this year with the climax we all deserve. To be more specific, what I'm trying to say is that we should take time for ourselves, complete 23 with good mental health, not get caught up in the typical end of the year frenzy, tell your loved ones you love them, and just generally try to be kind and compassionate towards other people out there, IRL and online, given that there is so much hatred and bitterness in the world these days. Sound good? No? Well, fuck it, I tried.
Looks
We have
fun over
beer,
there.
but not out of bitterness and stuff. I need a positive reason to have a beer. Oh, here, oh, hold on. Here is the hardware unboxed, hitting 1 million subs. Congrats, you guys. Cheers. And on with the
Eeny,
tech
meeny,
news.
miny. How about that?
Today's video is brought to you by Micro Center. This is one of my favorite places to buy PC parts. So if you're building or upgrading your PC, I highly recommend making your way down to one of their 25 retail stores in the US. They have consistently competitive prices and an excellent selection of PC hardware and other tech goods. And they have a custom PC builder on the Micro Center website. Use it to spec out your rig and it will show you parts in-store at your nearest location while ensuring compatibility. Then you can pick up in-store or have their pros assemble it for you. So click the sponsor link in the description to find a Micro Center near you. Intel's 14th Gen Core CPUs have been rumored to launch this week for quite some time. October 17th or so the scuttlebutt indicates, and so naturally they've already gone up for sale at select retailers in Europe and Asia. It's hard to say if it was due to neglect on Intel's part, or simply a casual disregard of agreed upon embargo dates by the retailers in question, but at least one Redditor who goes by PenCapRabis picked up a 14700K in Indonesia, equivalent to about $480. By comparison, the 13700K goes for $460, making it about a 15% increase. But the 14700K does have 4 extra E-cores, so a higher price wouldn't be unexpected. PenCapRabis was even kind enough to share some pictures, as well as some CPU-Z screenshots, apparently confirming some existing leaks, such as the 5.6 GHz turbo boost, as shown here in hardware info, and a moderately concerning 92C max temperature. But it was tested with a small ITX cooler, and it was also using a stock DDR4 memory setup since XMP wasn't working. Apart from that, the 14900K was also listed, and apparently 9 were sold by European retailer Alternate on eBay, although the listing has now been removed. The price was 685 euros, or 21 euros more than their listing for the 13900K. Early retail listings are notoriously unreliable, as they can often be placeholder prices, so it's best to wait until Tuesday to confirm pricing. Currently, it ranges from they cost the same as 13th Gen to 20 to 25% markups versus 13th Gen. As for performance, the best possible indication there is probably this slide that was purportedly leaked from an Intel presentation in China. It shows Intel's gaming test results versus the 7950 X3D in a battle for which is the best gaming CPU. And here they're claiming that the 14900K has reclaimed the crown for best CPU for gaming with about a 2% overall lead. But this one should be doubly scrutinized, as it is both an early leak and data from Intel, which might be biased. For example, No one takes Ashes with the Singularity seriously anymore, but Intel is happy to include it since they score a 15% win over AMD in that title. There is no doubt that it's looking to be a close race though, so Intel will need to make sure that they stay competitively priced with AMD's 7950X 3D, which currently goes for $600, and the 7800X 3D, which sits at $400. Speaking of competition, there's a bit more competition in entry-level GPU space now, thanks to Intel's other October launch, the Arc A580 video card, which went up for sale for $180 on Tuesday, along with a review embargo list. And while most reviews welcomed the A580's arrival thanks to impressive 1080p performance, especially compared to the NVIDIA RTX 3050, its closest competitor actually seems to be Intel's own Arc A750, which is typically about 5 to 10% faster and is easily purchased for $200 or even $190. The next step up from there for gamers who are looking for the current gen GPU at least will be the Radeon RX 7600, which is about 20 to 25% faster than the A580, which goes for about $140. Intel's continued work to improve Arc drivers was also on display this week, although the timing was not quite ideal for reviewers. Intel graphics driver 3.1.0
Medicated Earl says, one other team.
Live Monday. Right, as many reviewers were wrapping up their reviews of the A580, i.e. a difficult time to rerun tests and reassess conclusions, or reshoot videos for that matter. But it's still good news that the 4887 driver, combined with the driver pushed out last week, has allowed Intel to squeeze anywhere from single-digit improvements in some games all the way up to a claimed 119% uplift in Deus Ex Human Revolution, a 19% performance boost on average across 20 DirectX 11 and DirectX 12 titles, and further boosts Monday to games including Starfield, which I had just finished testing. So I retested, and it brought the A580's performance right up to being in line with the RTX 3050, which was a big boost. Just don't open the game's menu, or it can tank your frame rate. Isn't PC gaming fun sometimes? And now I say, once again, cheers and congratulations to the team over at Hardware Unboxed for surpassing 1 million subscribers. It is a hard-earned and well-deserved milestone for Steve and Tim, and I just wanted to say thanks to both of you guys for your dedication to extensive hardware testing, benchmarking, and ethical standards, as well as maintaining your stoic determination despite being slandered as a shill for whichever company you said something moderately positive about most recently. Stim and Teeve celebrated their achievement by posting yet another in-depth analysis video, the type of content that earned them their prestigious position in the first place, this time on AMD's frame generation technology, Fluid Motion Frames, which works at the driver level to insert interpolated frames in between the real ones that your video card shoots out, as long as you have a Radeon 6000 or 7000 series GPU to test the 2D driver rates. It's supposed to give you free frames, resulting in enhanced buttery smoothness in your gameplay, but unlike AMD's FSR3 frame generation that they tested last week, Tim was thoroughly unimpressed.
Damn, I'm not like fine, what the fuck?
Since the frames generated can often be blurry and distorted, since they're only basing the interpolation on the previous and next frames in sequence versus FSR3 or DLSS frame generation, which also use game engine data. UI elements are particularly susceptible to garbling, and
get out of here, run for your life.
Still problematic, with generated frames often shown for a higher amount of time.
Medicated Earl says, run.
Not how it's supposed to work. FMF also increases latency, which is bad. And since interpolation breaks down when there's a lot of frame-to-frame variance, as in when there's a lot of motion happening, AMD's software automatically disables it momentarily when lots of motion is detected, which also happens to be the point when you would most want
Medicated Earl says, for
your
life.
October, AMD, but perhaps you should have held off on this preview so we'd have one less horror show to witness before Halloween. Ow! Yeah. Speaking of Halloween, if you don't have a costume lined up this year, why not go as Tech Crews? Let's begin with a message of
Medicated Earl says, they are poloing you.
A giant in the world of PC hardware analysis and reviews for more than
Medicated Earl says, following.
And informed so many of us, myself included, back during his 16-year tenure.
Medicated Earl says,
followed
run.
by his continued work reviewing components and producing excellent video and live stream content since joining PC World back in 2014. Gordon has been struggling with health problems this year and revealed on a live stream just last week that he is battling cancer and undergoing chemotherapy treatments. Adam, who has been doing an exemplary job taking the reins in Gordon's absence, has asked for respectful privacy as Gordon heals, but they'll provide updates as warranted. Good luck, Gordon. We're all pulling for you, and I know you can attack that cancer with the same sardonic wit and bitter sarcasm that we always love to read in your articles. It won't stand a chance. Next up, for anyone who is still tired of being pushed and prodded by Microsoft to upgrade to Windows 11, don't worry. It sounds like you'll soon be free of that obligation, and instead you'll be harassed with messages saying, upgrade to Windows 12, or so the rumor goes. With Windows 11
Medicated Errol says, you can do it. Medicated Errol says, GG.
With Windows 12,
Scrappy DP
last month at a
says,
City Analyst
LOL.
Conference, Intel CFO David Zinsser discussed what he called a Windows refresh, which has prompted renewed interest in Windows 12 rumors stemming from internal Intel documents leaked earlier this year. The fact that Microsoft said Windows 10 was going to be the last version of Windows and that it would be a service-based OS from then on seems to be fading from the public's memory rapidly. But that hasn't stopped them from also speculating that Windows might get a subscription plan too with the next version. Wouldn't that be nice? It's all detailed in Microsoft's upcoming new book, How to Crush Public Interest in Your OS While Shoehorning in a Bunch of Shitty Tracking and Ad Features That No One Wants. Amazon bestseller. Speaking of things no one wants, an SSD in your video card. Asus heard you like SSDs, so they put an SSD in your video card so you can SSD while you video card. Something like that. I'm just kidding. I actually find this to be pretty cool and practical. Since many GPUs only use PCIe by 8 bandwidth, or even by 4 sometimes, you're potentially wasting lanes by plugging that card into a by 16 slot, depending on your motherboard configuration, of course. So Asus said, why not add an M.2 slot to the GPU to use up more of those lanes, and hence we have an Asus RTX 4060 Ti Dual with an M.2 SSD slot, which appears to be coming to market according to EEC listings. Compatibility and price are still a big question, but when demoed in China in July, the attached SSD had pretty much full PCIe 4.0 by 4 bandwidth available, and even benefited from the GPU's cooling. This would seem particularly useful when paired with a Mini ITX motherboard. Finally, for AMD GPU owners out there who like Counter-Strike, beware. For the latest AMD Radeon drivers, while enabling anti-lag plus support in CS2, also disable your ability to play the game because they modify DLL functions, which triggers the game's anti-lag cheat detection feature, potentially resulting in a permaban. AMD has removed the download link to the driver as of Friday. That's Adrenalin Edition 23.10.1, so keep an eye out for a fixed version that hopefully won't result in you getting blocked from playing your favorite FPS. Or alternatively, maybe Anti-Lag Plus is just so good that it's basically cheating anyway. But then I saw how Fluid Motion Frames is performing this week, and I thought, no, probably not. Just another example of AMD software and drivers aging like fine wine, or fermenting like a vat of beer. One of those.
Let's go find them all.
But there you have it, guys. Tech news for the week. And if you liked it, click that like button. Leave me a comment down below. While you're down there, all the articles I talked about today are linked in the video description if you're interested. And you can also check out my store at paulshardware.net.
I do not want to be this girl. What the fuck? This fucking game.
Yes, I know the quality of the webcam is less than stellar. It looks like the footage from The Dark Knight when the Joker is like selfieing himself as he's torturing a guy. I know it doesn't look great. It's highly pixelated, looking like PlayStation 1 graphics, Charles here, but it is what it is. It's the only webcam that I have, and I really want to talk about something since I can't sleep, which has become all too common. It's extremely late right now. It's 3 a.m. I gotta get up at 7 a.m. and I didn't sleep last night, and I'm not sleeping tonight. Insomnia is absolutely beating my cheeks in, and it's making me mad. But the only thing that makes me more upset than not being able to sleep is Porch Pirates, and that's what we're here to talk about. Since I was tossing and turning, having nothing but the most inopportune moments for deep existential thoughts, which kept me awake, I decided I'd go on the cyberspace to see if there's any kind of lullabies that could put me to sleep. You know, maybe Jigglypuff could sing me a song or something. But instead, all I found were two very peculiar cases of Porch Pirates stealing some packages that I just think are really interesting. So let's talk about them.
Round 1. Beginning countdown.
Heads up. Not all of us are in the ring.
Attention. First blood.
First blood.
Most
Should've seen that
inopportune
coming.
moments for deep existential thoughts, which kept me awake, I decided I'd go on the cyberspace to see if there's any kind of lullabies that could put me to sleep. You know, maybe Jigglypuff could sing me a song or something. But instead, all I found were two very peculiar cases of porch pirates stealing some packages that I just think are really interesting, so let's talk about them. You know that trope that exists in anime and other fiction where the villain is super smart with like the most creative and most galaxy brain scheme imaginable? Yeah, it doesn't usually happen in the real world. It's usually just a bunch of fucking brain-dead morons that have the dumbest ideas and then commit a crime. But not in this case. We finally have a rare unicorn here with a turbo genius criminal. So, they wanted to steal a package, but they didn't want their identity to be compromised because most people have Ring doorbells or something similar in this day and age. So, how do you get around this? They don't have the mass technology that Mission Impossible does or anything, so they had to get creative. It seems like they found a nearby traffic cone and hid inside of it, which does a great job of concealing not only their face, but their whole body. This could be a full-grown man, full-grown woman, or a child. There's no telling. The only clues we have to go on are the barefoot pitter-patter from the door to the driveway. That's it. That's not a whole lot of clues. You'd have to get the forensics team out there and start, like, swabbing the concrete to see if you can get some kind of, like, DNA off it, maybe? I have no idea. So, they might actually get away with this one. I do have a working theory, though. I think the culprit here is someone that is familiar with the family. I think it's a family friend, or maybe even a nearby neighbor. They knew they could be easily identified by the homeowner, which is why they took such extreme measures here. That, or it's staged. This could just be fake. This could be just a prank, like a staged video for the sake of it going viral, which it absolutely did. But I like to pretend and suspend disbelief here. I like to think that this was a real instance of a porch pirate coming up with a really creative solution. But anyway, there's no further updates that I can find on this story, so this menace is still at large. Sleep in fear. Or in my case, don't sleep at all, because insomnia is a real bitch. But also, if there's any traffic cones nearby, you might want to hide them somewhere so that way they can't be utilized like this and steal your packages. Now, while this one could be faked, the next one is not, because they've been caught. Though they did have an equally creative idea on how to get away with stealing packages. I'm kidding, it's actually a really fucking stupid idea. I'll just go ahead and show you the news segment on
it. Look here, police say Juliana Sagaram stole a package, as you see right there, from a Manhasset home last month. Video shows a woman walking up to the doorstep on Highland Terrace holding a brown paper bag there, and police telling us it was a Chipotle order she was supposed to deliver nearby. Neighbors say this is unbelievable.
So Juliana's plan was simple and also not super effective because she didn't get away with it. There were a lot of holes in this scheme. It wasn't exactly a bulletproof plan. While doing food delivery, she decided to take this package here, and I guess her whole idea was if she's in the middle of a food delivery, no one would think twice about her going up to the front of a house, and then she could make a getaway with the package without anyone stopping her. So it seems the whole idea was to avoid suspicion by having a good cover story. No, I'm not here to steal packages. I'm here to deliver food. You're out of order. You lost your marbles. But she failed to account for modern technology, where most people have like Ring doorbells now or anything that records video outside their home, because of the rising problem of porch pirates. So it didn't do anything to prevent the authorities from seeing who she was. And I guess really she just wanted to make sure no one would like interfere with her plan. But I don't know how common that is. Like, I don't feel like there's a ton of people that recognize when a porch pirate is striking, because they usually run up, grab it, and run away. There's not a whole lot of time for someone to fucking swoop in and stop them, unless of course she's doing this in Gotham City and Batman happened to be nearby in the neighborhood. Like, I just don't think that is really commonplace. So overall, Buddy with the traffic cone over his head actually had a more effective strategy than she did. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about these because they were super silly. They both came up with pretty creative plans on how to be a scumbag, and one of them so far has got away with it, the other one is at least facing charges, so that's good that she's, you know, been caught. And I guess we'll see if the traffic cone supervillain pops out of hiding at some point again in the future. But anyway, that's about it. So yeah.
And how does this happening? How is this real? Sniper Wolf showing up to a YouTuber's house to square up was definitely not on my 2023 bingo card, but I guess here we are. So today we're going to take a look at how we got here, obviously what happened, and the consequences Sniper Wolf is facing for this. And this feud is between Sniper Wolf and one of the remaining YouTube OGs who still upload, Jax Films. And the entire feud started in a way with Sniper Wolf's content. I mean, throughout the entire lifespan of Sniper Wolf's content, creators have been calling her out for her content for various reasons. In the early days, she was a gaming channel. People called her out for faking her gameplays, meaning that she wasn't even playing the game, she was just reacting to someone who was good at it, which was also exposed in a lawsuit that we're also covering that's currently ongoing. But then she re-rolled from reacting to gameplay to just openly reacting to other people's content without really asking much. Back in the day,
what the fuck? Hello? Oh, that's audio output capture.
I'm the jump master. Lead
You got a game to win. And not just
I'm the
polish
jump
my
master.
shit.
Hello.
Hello. And then you'd talk about it a little bit at the end of the video. It wasn't really transformative.
Hello.
And then
Okay.
in some of his videos, he would maybe say one full sentence. So the rest of the 10-minute video is just him sitting there in silence watching whatever video he was reacting to. And while most people saw him and were like, wow, what a scumbag, Sniper Wolf must have seen that and thought, you know what, that's my new business model. But I'm going to talk a little bit more. And Jax Films gets involved here because instead of just making a YouTube video on Sniper Wolf, he gets a little bit creative with it and makes an entire channel.
The battle happens quick. Be ready.
Stumbled across an entry on Know Your Need that led to Sniper Wolf spending millions on new mansion. For those who don't know, Sniper Wolf is a YouTuber who reacts to TikToks. I promise it's way cooler than it sounds. Take a look.
So the spell would be petty, right?
How do you deal with a Karen?
So we thought spell want to be petty.
Oh, he got caught.
Epic, right? Well, this news kind of inspired me. So what I've done is I've created a brand new YouTube channel called Jax Films. And so far, I've only uploaded one video titled TikToks That Gave Me a Tummy Ache. Here's a little snippet.
Your mom a hoe.
Oh, it says your mom a hoe. Oh, that's not very nice. It's giving me a tummy ache.
Started an entire new channel mocking Sniper Wolf's content by reacting to her bare minimum reactions. And Sniper Wolf is definitely not the first reaction channel that Jax Films has criticized, because remember I mentioned Jinx earlier? Well, Jinx reacted to one of Jax Films' videos without saying anything.
Your grammar sucks.
45 seconds. Rings close.
It's almost 100.
So obviously Jinx isn't adding anything to this video, but played his entire video in entirety without interrupting it. And I guess while reacting to this video, Jax Films plans a seed for the future.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start reacting to your videos, but I'll just show your videos in their entirety. That way it's like a one-stop shop. People don't even have to go to your channel. They can just go to mine for your videos and then my reaction. Sound good? God bless.
So to my knowledge, he didn't do that with Jinx, but he decided to do that with Sniper Wolf, and I guess the Sidemen and a couple other reaction channels, at least in the beginning. Because at first, the announcement was roughly, I would say, a year ago, and he posted about 12 videos to that channel before taking a break. He then came back a couple months later with roughly 4 more videos before taking another break. But then, Sniper Wolf made the critical mistake of quote-tweeting Jack. The original tweet by Jack here was just some reaction emojis to YouTube shouting out Sniper Wolf. And it's safe to say that Sniper Wolf wasn't a really big fan of that, so she wrote, I'm going to start charging you 20% since you get your ideas from me. And then that tweet turned into a meltdown on Twitter where she deleted most of them, but Jack managed to screenshot them, so here's a few of them from his video.
The only thing that is funny about you is your hairline. If your content was entertaining, it would reflect in your views. Bro is stuck in 2013 and wonders why people don't think he's funny anymore.
You hear that? There's a care package coming down.
I hate bringing gender into this, but no one ever attacks the male React channels? Let me just check something real quick. Okay, that's Okay, cool.
And I guess because of all this, he made another video announcing that he was going to restart the Sniper Wolf parody channel and grade her reactions and give credit to all the creators that she was freebooting off of.
Anyways, the first video is already up on Judge Jack's Films. Go check it out and subscribe because I will be uploading there daily as long as I want to.
And now it seems like he's been daily uploading for about 2 months, and apparently it took 1 month for her to start making sly remarks towards him.
It kind of reminds me of certain YouTubers slithering his way to steal my content.
And then just 1 month later, Sniper Wolf absolutely lost it and committed a crime again. And I guess this is where she decided to reenact this video, except that she is the one that did the stalking here. Or well, this is probably a more fitting one. But this whole ordeal started with her asking her fans if she should show up to Jack's Films' house. You know, because that's a very sane thing to ask your audience. So a super weird thing to do, but if she left it at that, it would just be a really weird thing to do. But sadly, it gets so much worse because, as most of you guys know, she actually showed up to Jack's Films' house, and then she filmed his house and posted it to her account with 5 million followers. And I guess in this video she wrote, "Let's talk like adults." What an absolute lunatic. And I'm getting like a minor deja vu here from the whole BitBoy situation, minus the strap and the side chick and getting arrested in front of the house while live streaming himself. Okay, actually, the BitBoy situation is way worse, but in a way, because of how much larger of a creator Sniper is,
one down. Two down.
I'm trying to understand a lot. Why would she ever do that? Is it really worth putting her entire career at risk? Weird
He's hurt. He's hurt. He's up top with the shotgun. Oh, there's another team here. There's another team here. On your right, 3 of them.
1 month span. It's safe to say that the internet is going in a scary direction, but if things just couldn't have been wilder, Jack was actually live streaming as Sniper Wolf was outside his house.
So it's like real. Wow. Yeah.
She's on house right now, Jack.
Shut up.
Knock on your door. Like 5 minutes ago.
Wait, what?
She's literally right outside your house.
Oh my God.
It's happening right now. Call the police. Actually,
Wait, what?
Call the police.
No, there's a video.
She's outside your house right now.
What the?
She's literally posted a video on her story.
Optics here. Close range.
She's out of the house.
Record this.
Sounds like
Right now.
enemy activity. Far off.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, no, this is.
God, that's horrible.
No, that is huge.
No, it's not.
For privacy. And so much else. There's so much wrong with that.
No, I'm not getting out, dude.
No, stay inside. Absolutely.
Call the cops and show them the Instagram story.
Hold on. I'm gonna go inside.
Aaron,
No,
Don't, please don't. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna end this.
But
Yeah.
end the stream.
Thank you for coming out. But this is a.
Okay, so now, because of this lunatic, millions of people have now seen Jack's house. So this is just nothing short of horrifying, especially when you have a family there. And what Sniper Wolf did is actually a crime in California. So it's going to be interesting to see what Jack does here. But Sniper Wolf quickly defended herself, saying that this creep has been harassing me for months, then plays victim, saying I threatened him when I just wanted to talk to him. I have no ill intentions. It's so sad when people have to constantly create drama to pay their bills. He's not creating drama there. You showed up to his house late at night. Hello? If you wanted to talk to him, DM him. And you can ask him, hey, can we talk in person? We might be based in the same city. Can we link up and talk in person? Anything like that. Don't show up to his house. And especially, don't show up to his house and film it for your entire audience to see.
Alright,
because now,
first game
that
of the
image
day.
is all over the internet. Because everyone on the internet's now reposted it. Which sucks, because no matter what Jack does now, he can't take that back. She took away his family's
Alright, dirtbags.
And Sniper Wolf's bit that I read earlier, that was in response to
Do it.
Jack's tweet that said, Sniper Wolf just doxed me on her IG. Creepy, gross, violent. What you do is disgusting. You steal content, you stalk YouTubers. YouTube demonetized
Ready to
this
go.
famous
I'm ready to
creator
win the
and just
first
get
game
her
of the
off
day.
platform. She posted an IG story right outside
Dang,
of
no
her
Octane?
and then Sniper Wolf went on to respond again by saying, accusing me of doxing is defamation.
No
I have
Octane?
no idea how to dox. He literally posted his address on Google and said I threatened and doxed him. Building someone's house is doxing. Clearly you know how to dox. And there's no way he just posted his address on Google. I don't believe that. And then she posted another story that said 400 videos online
Alright.
on someone wanting to talk IRL.
Master, where are we going?
Jump Master.
Message him. Contact him about meeting up. Don't
Where
show
you
up
going?
to his house late at
Alright,
night.
Guys are
alright,
good
alright.
and fucked
Let's
up.
go to the last two.
This guy, but now Sniper Wolf as well, and of course, she's making a joke out of it. And this might have backfired on her already, because a lot of people have been messaging me saying, oh, she lost her main sponsor, G Fuel. But I haven't seen an official response from G Fuel or anything yet, so I don't really know if that's real or not yet. But either way, what a garbage situation.
You guys are
Sad
a
that this
detached
is
kind of
not
crew.
that far away from reality.
I like that.
Enemy spotted.
Cool. I'm going to first level. And wow.
More and more evidence suggests that the recent uptick in the accessibility and popularity of online betting is actually leading to literal teenagers developing gambling addictions, particularly young men. So here's the backstory. Back in 2018, the Supreme Court ruled in a landmark case in favor of the sports betting industry, which cleared the path for the legalization of online betting around the country. Now, since online betting has definitely taken off, sports betting has become legal in over 30 states. Some states have even legalized online casino gambling as well. Now, the age to legally bet on sports online is 21 in almost all of the states that have legalized online betting. Now, sites have put some safeguards in place to keep younger kids from accessing them, like two-factor authentication, numbers, which I would feel uncomfortable sharing in the context of a website like this. Nonetheless, there are growing signs that tons of teams are finding ways to bypass these regulations and engage in the betting anyway.
Wait, how'd you go down? I fucking what?
More frequency about their children in Long Island teens and people in their early
They were hit hard.
20s are now the #1 demographic calling gambling helpline,
our guy's not even
said
with us.
Pamela Brenner
The
Davis, who works at the Long Island Problem Gambling Resource Center. She says many of these are related specifically to sports betting. Gary Schneider, who has been in Gamblers Anonymous for over 2 decades, said more teenagers have started to join the meetings as well. In the last year, we are seeing more and more 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18, 19, 22, 24 that are coming in with severe gambling problems. And the National Council on Problem Gambling
I'm back
says that 4 to 6%
I don't know what happened to my game.
4 to 6% of high schoolers are considered addicted to gambling.
Fuck.
Yeah. So look, guys, this is
I'm just gonna buy you guys back in.
I definitely think that.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. On the internet, and it's,
Where are we at? Why am I so far from everything?
Like,
I'm taking this car.
Like, that's not your business to tell me whether I should or shouldn't gamble, and whether that's a good way to spend my money or not. It's like saying, some people will shop. We're banning shopping. No, we're not. That's crazy. Okay. So on the other hand, are kids more likely to get into this stuff? Of course, they watch a lot of sports. They're very competitive. Lots of testosterone going on at that time in their lives. So we have to be very, very careful at the same time. So how do we do that? How do we do that balance? It's a crazy thing called parenting.
Hey, Lenny.
Guys, I'm not trying to be glib and I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. Parenting is super hard. I got 2 kids. They're getting tons of influences in so many different places. And as a parent, you're constantly fending that off and trying to make sure that they stay on the right path. But that's, if you will, from the parent analogy, that's table stakes. That's our job, right? So if I'm not going to judge up parents for not being perfect. It's a
Nobody let it here.
Job, right? But and here I'm.
It is impossible. I gotta be honest. Like,
Maybe my game just completely.
parents can't be helicopters. Like, they can't follow their kids around and follow their every move. Kids are smart.
Let's fucking go, bitch!
Usually,
Woo!
savvy and
I have a jump tower too, so we'll be good.
Right? So this has been correct in stating that this is a difficult problem to solve. So I don't know what the solution is. I'm just sharing the problem. This is the problem. I don't know how to solve it.
I always try to look for the solution. I always try to be
I do too, but this one's tough.
But this one's tough. Yeah, exactly. So look, at a minimum, like guide them. So here's what I do, and I'm terrible here, right? Because I'm a gambler, and so kids see me yell at the TV, and even worse,
Gotta get back right here.
You know, I did okay the last couple of years, and so when I think about that, I'm constantly telling them
Fly
all
over
the
to you.
times that I lose. I want to drill into their head. Most of the time when you gamble, you lose. And I want to associate gambling with losing enough times that at least they're
Get on this one.
right? And so, lucky for me this year, I get to be a terrific example, having bet on the Vikings and the Giants for the season. If you're a football fan,
Yo, Jake. That's my trap. That's my trap.
and tell my son every single day.
West side. No, what do you see it?
Okay, I know you hate
Alright.
Dude. Football and sports and stuff.
How was it?
But Ed would laugh because all the football fans thought those are two disastrous.
Yeah.
Disastrous.
Didn't get invited to mine.
So, but look, and now we're having fun and we're laughing.
You gotta be a baller. You gotta be a baller.
We all didn't realize something about you.
Get to that. Cracked. Oh yeah, did John talk to you about that?
Hold on me, but he's hurt.
Oh, it's just like
One behind the box.
in that realization.
Two coming up. Ramp.
They were like really important issue. We see it here in America with MAGA guys and the other guys, right? But it's not just about ethnicities and race and religion. There's tons of our different identities. I'm a Steeler fan, okay? That's part of my identity. And so I'm not going to go root for the goddamn Cowboys. And so when the Steelers lose in the Super Bowl, when they had it in that Mendenhall fumbles. Yeah, we get mad, right?
I get it. And like, look, like as an Angelino, I definitely support the Dodgers, right? But I refuse to bleed blue. Because I'm worried, like, if I were the type to bleed blue, I would be devastated during the playoffs.
I'm going to say something super
Kershaw, come on, man. It's all in your head. You gotta be a little more clutch than this.
She knows that one thing about Kershaw. She keeps going back to that now. And by the way, just quick on that. Now we're on a tangent. Sports is not about just skill. You need the skill. Like, the other day, my wife and I had a discussion, debate about it. I'm like, hey, babes, but it's not all willpower. I could not play in the NBA, no matter what. If I was the most willpower dude in the world, was a superhero of willpower, I still couldn't play in the NBA. But for the guys who have enough skill to be able to make it, the best athletes are always the ones that try the hardest, that work the hardest. It's not an accident. It's not a coincidence. Like David Beckham. Beckham, he had the best corners, best passing, etc. Why? There's a documentary on Netflix, and my wife, funny enough, was watching it, and I saw a part of it. It's because his dad made him practice corners. Hundreds of thousands of times, right?
Corners?
Yeah, corner kicks in top of football. And so everyone's like, oh man, Beckham's got amazing how he passes and he does corner kicks, etc. No, it wasn't just random skill. That's because Beckham worked the hardest. LeBron James works the hardest. Kobe Bryant worked the hardest. Jerry Rice, the best player of all time until Tom Brady, worked the hardest. Tom Brady works the hardest. So it's both of those. Okay, but back to gambling. I was going to tell you something embarrassing about this. So.
Go ahead. I love it.
Everybody wants to hear that, but I forgot it in my tangent. More embarrassing than Vikings and How can it be more embarrassing than that?
Yeah. All right. Well, Look, I think it's all pretty self-explanatory. The easier you make it for people to gamble, more people are going to suffer from gambling addiction.
I know, but like, the easier you make it to buy a Coors Light, the more guys are going to become alcoholics.
Can I just say, like, my heart really does go out for people who have a predisposition to addiction. Because I say that as someone who doesn't have a predisposition to addiction, and so, you know, there have been things that I've experimented with in my youth that I enjoyed, but if I had an addictive personality, it would destroy my life. And it's just heartbreaking. Like, my heart does break for people who struggle with gambling addictions, drug addictions, all of that. I wish that we had more resources available to people who struggle with addiction to help, so they can get help, so they can, you know, rehabilitate themselves and, you know, just live better lives. I don't know if that could be part of the solution to this, because I agree with you. I don't think the solution is to ban online gambling. Maybe someone can make an argument that helps me change my mind on that, but this is a really tough situation. It's a difficult issue to solve. And while I don't like the idea of sharing social security numbers, maybe a solution could be like, okay, if you want to gamble on the site, you need to upload, you know, your ID card or something.
Yeah, I was going to say driver's license, and it won't be perfect. But it's, you know, because look, when we went to college, I don't know if you had a fake ID, but I had a fake ID. And so, but it was like a weak sauce fake ID. Like, replicating a driver's license is off, right? So, a picture, I didn't there if you know what to look for.
Not much yet.
Stay out of my way. All my money on a gambling site, right? But good. Because you should create a little disincentive.
What the fuck?
Harder for under 21-year-olds.
Are you insane?
Because they're more vulnerable. Because their brains are not fully formed yet.
Target landed near me.
There's two sets of folks that I always have great sympathy for. One is addicts, because, you know, a huge percentage of the time.
Yeah, I got a gun for you. I got a gun for you.
So it's easy for us to judge, but we're not predisposed to it. And so they are, and that makes their lives easier. Some of them might like really down over the edge and then become addicts. At that point, some of them started out super simple, and they just got real good because they're dead. And so that's one. The other is like those poor guys with the wrong services.
Yeah.
That's the wrong thing. And nobody's gonna have any sympathy for you, and it is what it is. Like, it's like the most random thing that I'm thankful for, and you know I'm like king of being thankful. I'm like, but every time thank God I want to be better.
Hey, thanks for watching. We appreciate it if you become members, because that allows us to be independent, honest, progressive, all the things that you don't get from corporate. All that is a unit. Hit the join button below. Become one of us. Become a young Turk.
They spotted me. Down.
But when I see a sink full of like I'm not doing this.
Grappling makes things much easier. Try it sometime.
Everyone else is just out of touch, and Asmund is just, this is what's normal. I hate it. Okay, so here's that was the room next to the kitchen, by the way.
I received some documents. Monster in half these
inside the ring.
Or a resolution by discussion. The other is to find a way around.
But way too many raisins in this motherfucker.
So I think that in this case, the word negotiate means take care of, or deal with. So when they say secure the hostage, deal with them. And that's what negotiate is. Number 8, the crew MT will have to deal with the So, number 8 is kind of indicates that some illegal aircraft weapons, such as MANPADs or man-portable air defenses, may have them on the ground, or perhaps Palestinian militants were using RPGs like MANPADs, the way the Somalis did with the East Black Hawk camp, shooting RPGs at Black Hawk. There is a TO&E, or Table of Organization and Equipment, that was found on the Lost Fighter. I'm going to get to that document later, but that document doesn't indicate that anyone had managed to have it set. Now, next part of the document is the personnel states. Statement amount required, available amount of deficit. So in this case, 6 number of personnel, 5, 7 fights, 13, 0, then 8 wireless or walkie-talkie, 8, 8, 0, and 3 repeater or RPR, and 5 senders. Note that the person who translated this statement is exact phonetic pronunciation. I don't know if this is a brand new radio, where they're saying repeater and symbols. Next, 9 mobile communication, 0, and finally phone camera 110, and it all ends with top secret page 1114. So there may be.
Can you craft a mobile respawn?
Next, we'll have table control, which in the U.S. Army we call command and signal, and we call the SOI, signal operating instructions. Up here, this says top secret. Then table of command and control. Deputy Brigade Commander of the Mission Landline 58657. Deputy Brigade Commander for Artillery Landline 56217. Then we have Type, Supervisor Command, Tactical. Supervisor Mission Commander, and then the landline number. Third is the Commander and landline. This red column here says Mission Commander, Breach Team, Duty Team, Mission Artillery, Crossing Officer, Monitor. Now, a Crossing Officer might be sort of like the command and control of the breach point. His job is to probably literally direct traffic and fix any on-the-spot things that might happen at the breach point. Like a roof that breaks down, or when the wall was detonated, the wall didn't fall the first way and was blocking the breach. Like I said, these guys are good. They know what they're doing, and they know that things can always go wrong in a mission. So it's important to have someone who's running the breach point, so there's no question about who's in charge of this problem breach. The breach point is the choke point, is where you have the biggest constraint on the move. So yeah, the thought that Palestinian forces knew how to do this indicates that they had someone in charge who was willing to do that. Next is communication by wireless or walkie-talkie. Mission, number of phones, brigade, mobile phone holder, mobile phone number, call receiver, number of call receiver, landline, and PALTEL, which is the PALTEL is the Palestinian mobile phone provider. Now, in this document, we have 1st Brigade, and the numbers of 1st Brigade, 1st Group Commander, 2nd Group Commander, and 3rd Group Commander. So that's all for the officers. Next is the TO&E, or Table of Organization and Equipment. I was able to translate
Don't get me.
this myself, but Mohammed, man, Shukran, Mamnoon, you really came through from this edition. So this was the original document, and this is the translated document. Again, all of this is available for page numbers on my site stack. Some interesting stuff. It looks like they have I don't know what structures are. Also, kind of being super demonstrated. First, I thought this said freezer.
Yeah, get out of there if you can. Fuck that.
Also, note, I think that might be a cool for a Palestinian directional mine. A directional mine explodes outward in an arc like the U.S. Claymore does. So it seems like TV mine would be a slang term because perhaps a mine looks like a flat screen TV. Also notice on the left of the table is a list of Israeli vehicles they must have faced. Next, I want to say some graphics cards that are truly of amazing quality. The first graphic details the travel tank to weak points in the tank, rear door, ammo storage, tank valve, and so on. The funny part about this is that I was an anti-armor and heavy weapons guy for 20 years. You can talk about weak points all you want, but if you're close enough to aim at a specific weak point, you're way too close. You're probably going to be absolutely terrified and shaking so much that you're not going to hit your target.
Then there's a discussion about rebuilding this trophy system. This trophy system can shoot down into rockets and details of gaps. Essentially, so the gaps are firing within 50 meters by an RPG or using fast sound, such as the Soviet SPG-9 nuclear rifle. So two things here. Like I said before, if you're within 50 meters of a tank, you're in a lot of trouble if that tank explodes, and you're also going to be terrified out of your mind. But second, I didn't even know poreless rifles were a thing. That is some World War II, Korean War kind of thing. So, the active protection system might not be a cure-all for that tank that we once thought it was. It might be able to be defeated by an anti-tank weapon from 80 years ago, as long as it moves faster and spits out. The next part of the document details the differences between the Soviet and training RPG launchers. And then there's a section about the Israeli Force, which is called a soft kill active protection system. I've actually never heard of this system before, and I couldn't find any information on it. But it sounds like this system might be similar to the Western Shore system, which essentially jams into their guided missiles and causes them to lose control rather than kill them directly like the trophy system does. So, I don't believe this is either or. This might be on some vehicles as an exclusive, but it might also work in conjunction with trophy.
This place is something else. Let's go.
Hold on to me, Tinny. This might take a second.
Laser guided missiles through that system, trophy system, right? The final kinetic kill on that. Next is a detail of
If you can't keep up, you're straight out of luck.
It starts with Opek, Puma, Namer, Eskazar, Vitan,
Introducing your champion.
and Zelda.
Anyone want to take me out? Come find me.
The weak points between Eskazar, Namer, and Zelda are the rear doors, the track rollers, but they're all carrying weak points. The upper deck, third rear exhaust system.
ChatGPT.
Alexa, what is the absolute best laptop you can get for $500? You went to Best Buy, and it turns out it's this. It's from HP, which, badly, but as it turns out, savvy shoppers these days aren't getting their HPs from Best Buy. They're going to AliExpress or to The Chewy CoreBook X is so impressive. It deserves the dedicated laptop review that we've done in a year. I'm talking more power, more pixels, more battery, and more screen time.
On my marker.
They're going to let the screen ride. Just like this segment will done here. The Ridge. You're a stylish and practical person, so well, that should say. Well, its minimalist design lets you carry your essential cards and cash. There they go. Check out their
Will they find the strength to courage? And they make their comeback.
My brother 215 says, leave /
When we first saw this machine, and we were floored that you could get a Core i5 powered laptop with a freaking 1440p display for just $500. Normally for that price, you're lucky to get 1080p, and can I just say, it doesn't even feel like a $500 laptop, regardless of spec. If you asked me how much I thought this machine was worth, I'd say, yeah, probably starts at $999, kind of a mixed bag. It's not like you're going to get a unibody chassis at this price point, but the fit and finish of this multi-piece chassis is so good that it doesn't bother me at all. Power adapter. They definitely saved the buck here. Standard barrel jack charger. With that said, however, it does have, count them, one USB-C port that does take up to 65 watts of power delivery. So as long as you have a USB-C charger around, then you can use USB PD. It's also got a USB Type-A, a headphone microphone combo jack, and a micro SD slot.
My brother 215 says, Oasis.
How big the trackpad is.
Replicator over there, in case you need it.
Is this a 16 by 10 display?
Care package being delivered.
3x2? They went Microsoft Surface on this mess? Wow! I almost threw this box. See, there's no shortage of Chinese companies that can make, or a laptop that has a decent spec and sometimes even a pretty good price. They always compromise on something critical. Whereas by contrast, this trackpad feels pretty good. This keyboard is way better than it has any right to be. Is this thing just knock it out of the park amazing? Or have my laptops just gotten better? To find out, we explored the $500 options on Best Buy and found a few key things you're going to want to keep in mind if you're shopping in this price point. First and foremost, you should never buy a $500 laptop at full price. You want to be a bargain hunter. Find something on sale. You should expect something 1 to 2 generations old in the i5 or R5 range, 16 gigs of RAM, a real non-eMMC SSD, and at least a 10-inch display. One thing to really look out for is the Wi-Fi card you're using. We were tempted to buy this Asus VivoBook until we saw it had a 1x1 Wi-Fi card, which is going to make internet browsing, especially if you're multitasking, significantly slower. So with all that in mind, we chose the HP laptop, not HP Envy, Pavilion, or Spectre. It's literally just called HP laptop. In spite of its name, it earned our purchase. It hit all of the marks that we expect for a budget-conscious machine. But how does it compare to the Chewy? I can tell you right now, it feels cheaper immediately. Like, holy crap! It's also. Oh, why did it feel so much thicker? It's not even, but it feels thicker. Did you notice that?
It looks thicker.
Oh, right? I know why it feels thicker. Because it is thicker. Watch this. Boom. Thicker. The Chewy has taller feet, so it's actually getting more airflow to the bottom vent. With
Tango
that said, HP obviously is going to have some advantages here. More robust I/O, 2 Type A's, along with a Type C, HDMI out, full-size SD slot, and external microphone jack. Does this Type C accept power and delivery though? Because it also ships to very. Let's try it. I don't have especially high hopes though, because on the Chewy, you'll notice that that USB-C port is right next to the barrel jack, where the power delivery is on the main board. On this one, they're on the opposite sides. That's a negatory. See, charging for a student, somebody who might be picking up this year like this, it's probably a big deal for them to have just one charging phone.
Scrappy DP says, we might die.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, and speaking of backpacks. Even aside from that, this
You just bring y'all back now or never.
Like 8 to 10 years ago. There's a rough edge here. That's how bright the screen gets. And this trackpad, you are going to find yourself wishing you had one more like this.
Longbow here.
This one wasn't even at max brightness for the comparison. Okay, I didn't put the same wallpaper on, just so you guys can get some idea of what's going on here. This is bad. Oh wait, no, they're reining me in. I'm supposed to do a beta test now. Okay, hold on. We'll talk about the displays in a minute, because...
Knuckle cluster out.
Turn this to HP screen. And it has a number feeder. But it also has these arrow keys that make you an emergency.
Number 44.
Before we weigh these, for context, Ultrabooks of this size start
Bro, why are y'all fighting that fight?
I am.
Oh,
what do you call?
God.
I've been fighting. I'm.
9 pounds. Rebound attack, not bad. And bearing in mind, of course. Before we get into the keyboard and trackpad in more detail, I want to do a quick test that Alex calls the rocket test, because one of the parts of the laptop you wouldn't touch on anything else.
Contact! Making contact with enemy! Spotted. Making contact with enemy!
45 seconds. Ring aim far.
Enemy wasting bandages on themselves. Yeah.
Context.
Contact with hostile.
There isn't.
3-0, rings another bloody squad attacking us.
Give my shield a recharge.
I'm down.
I don't mind the ship position. Alex gave it an A-, taking off points for the mediocre lateral stability and some...
Good crap job back again.
Like the right shift key. I don't mind it. I actually agree with his grade though, because for me, it's the sound and the feel overall that are holding it back a little bit. You do just get a little bit too much.
And I got a mobile refund.
With that said, this is relatively very mushy. Some people will prefer the quieter sound, but while I don't blame the key switches themselves, there is so much flex in the deck that you're never going to get a clean, solid, tactile touch-typing experience of this. Coming back to the Chewy, it definitely has deck flex too, but to its credit, at least it's more consistent across the entire board, whereas with the HP laptop, there's parts that are more solid, and parts that feel like there's a sinkhole in them. The size on the HP didn't end up being as big of an issue as I expected it to be, and while neither of them are using a glass top or anything premium like that, both of them functioned well as expected, registering everything from taps to drags to multi-taps for play.
All that I am doing is opening paint and bucketing red at 250.
Spitfire here. Nemesis here.
That is the same red.
Remember that.
Back on me feet.
I need you to lock in, man. You're supposed to be carrying the team.
Man, yes, I am carrying the team. Y'all want to sit and fight dumbass fights?
I just came back, but I ain't got shit to fight with.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but it's in there shooting and shit.
And color damage was not the only way the Chewy ran away with this.
We ain't going negative, so we go longbow.
Just giving my shields a recharge.
Dust.
We go
Which isn't as bad as it sounds, because our response to brightness is non-linear. The HP will appear 82% as bright, but I can tell you it doesn't feel like 82% as bright as
we ain't going negative.
Man,
cool.
When you hit this thing, that's a big difference. One thing we glossed over, does the Chewy have a...
I took the zip with another team. I said, fuck it, I'm gone. We got even 3 different teams fighting. I went up to zip with all of their ass. We gone. Oh, I thought you was Lifeline. That make a lot of sense now. Never mind.
Yeah, you got Lifeline first.
Yeah, they make a lot of sense. I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the hell are you doing, bro? I'm thinking it's you, though. Here you go, Malcolm.
Hey, got it. As for accuracy, Chewy managed an average
Here you go.
of 3,000 at just 3.4 with a maximum of 4.8, whereas HP was 3.9 average and maximum 19.7. That's what poor color damage is going to do to you, because even if the pen is calibrated, it just doesn't have the physical capability to represent those colors. With that said, it's not like I'm going to recommend the Chewy.
Looks like a care package is coming in. Big
I need that. I'm looking for that shit. You had it the whole time? Or it's in? Oh, it's in there.
I got one, but I just found this one.
Great little machine. Speaking of getting work done on your laptop, let's talk
You got some light ammo?
for the CPU.
Nah.
Chewy is equipped with an Intel
Here.
Core i5-1235U. That is a 10
A little bit that I got.
2 performance cores,
Ain't got much.
8 efficiency cores. And while it's only a generation newer than the i5-1135G7 in the HP, the jump from 11 to 12 generation is huge. We're talking a 71% increase.
We plus 10, bro. God damn. It's the hardest I've ever worked.
The gap isn't as large, but the Chewy still managed to smoke the HP.
It was a team right here. I don't know if they rotated or not.
While neither of these is marketed as a hardcore,
Don't look like they did, because there's a barrier still closed.
play casual games
Up
like
and then
Dota
come
2 or
down.
Rocket League on them,
going
and
up.
especially with the turbo mode in it,
Yeah.
which gives about 11%
Let's push
more
up here.
performance, the Chewy stomped all over the HP.
Rings close with a minute to
Obliterated.
spin.
Also, I just can't get over.
I got an ultimate accelerant too, if somebody need it.
Yeah, I'm not over it either. This looks like a
chill
completely
here.
different map, or like they did a palette swap or something on it.
Right here.
Look at that. It looks brown. The grass looks dead.
Team flying in. Got that. They coming up
What
on you,
about-
Crap.
I'm not even running the game anymore.
Go with you. Drop one. I dropped two.
Shit.
Good headshot. They got gold shields and shit, so.
But to explain why that's terrible, let's take a look at this PG.
Yeah, the hemlock in here.
Yeah, I got one. Just got a,
What other one at?
Kind of like the shelves in a
You get
I
that
got
box.
it. Oh, it's right here.
About scrap so you can have it, their stuff.
I'm good. I'm just trying to live.
Oh, we good now. We positive now, so shit, we straight.
Is kind of like the computer that a library.
I get some more nades.
I don't think we ran
All I got is one. I'm gonna let this come down right now, G. Hold on.
way slower. Kind of think of it like making that core library.
Deploying a respawn beacon.
You straight
I'm
here.
gonna go back and get the heat. Damn, I was trying to get the heat shield.
You straight where we at. Team here. And the other one over here.
Alright, it should be another one.
Backside.
Yeah, he was behind the rock the whole time. He like mine. I'm in the fire though, damn. I was in the fire.
Blame it on the
There is a
chemtrails.
silver lining.
That's what all the crazies do.
Under these two screws right here is an open-end boxer slot that I would recommend you start saving up to fill pretty much as soon as possible. By the way, there's a little thermal pad, a little spacer that allows that SSD to dissipate heat using epoxy. Hey, we did another run of this to get a B-roll part of the results, and the Chewy is winning again. I wonder if it's thermal related as well or something? This is very eccentric behavior from it.
No, it's just the captain if it's filled up or not.
Got it, got it. Now let's find out if you should be saving up for some speakers and a webcam. Hey, oh, hi, Alex. Hey. We've got both set to 720p. Yep, that's the max they'll both do. And wow, the Chewy is bad. If I had to guess, I'd say they didn't calibrate it for white skin.
Wow, that's not fair at all.
Look, I'm completely blown out. I love this. The CPU filler behind there, lttstore.com, looks like just a solid brown thing on the bottom. Not what it looks like at all. We completely lose that detail. Check around here. Teeny. Boomy and unfocused. I'd take the Chewy.
Oh, I don't know. The HP is so much louder and has so much more low end.
So much more distortion, though.
I'd take my phone over both.
Your phone also costs more than both. Are we taking apart both or just the Chewy?
Might as well take apart both.
Oh, this is just 2 screws.
Aw, HP.
What?
You dickheads.
But that's good.
No, it's definitely.
Oh, I'm not opening it then. Stop. You heard it here first. HP, certified dickheads. It's so unnecessary. Just put the screws here and here. It doesn't matter. It's a $500 laptop. Who are you trying to impress?
Or like there and there.
Yeah, like you did on this much more premium model. You dickheads.
I do still like your laptop, so this one's great.
Oh wow, this is really not as easy to take apart as I was hoping. I think they did it too.
Chewy, you dickheads.
Certified dickheads. Okay, well, it comes off a lot more easily now. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you guys just noticing that the top of the screwdriver is still spinning? I'm going to say LTT start.
One of the things I wanted to see in here was the battery. Chewy's equipped this thing with a 46 watt-hour battery, which is a little over 10% more than the capacity of the HP. And that, combined with a 12th versus 11th gen CPU, should add up to significantly better battery life. Unfortunately, in the real world, things don't always work out the way they do on paper. As a baseline, our HP laptop was able to last an impressive 6 hours and 52 minutes in our battery life endurance test. Now, Chewy claims 8 hours of battery life on their website, but in our testing, we only managed 3 hours and 17 minutes. Now, normally we do our endurance tests with a balanced profile of battery logic game that we've heard from multiple laptop makers that less than 10% of users ever touch a laptop.
He's still upset, yeah.
For the Chewy,
It's bothering him. He hasn't stopped talking about it since I joined the party.
Eco mode, brightness, and it still only lasted for 3 hours and 20 minutes. Double ouch. We reached out to Chewy to see if maybe we got a model with a bad battery, and their response is one of the most incredible takes we've ever seen, with them saying 3.5 hours is expected for usage, while the claimed 8 hours
Halo
is
Infinite.
for on
It's
and
pretty
off
fun now.
usage when you're using
It was
your
rough.
laptop intermittently.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
rough
by
on
that
launch.
logic,
Still kind
I
of
get
rough, but
80
there's a lot
hours
more
of battery life
content.
out of my
and
laptop when I leave it in my backpack.
There's more
for a
coming
long
here in
weekend.
the new update that comes out whenever the fuck in a couple days or whatever.
Oh, do you
They're adding
have
a
them
new
here?
weapon, a new gadget. Yeah. And a couple new maps. And firefight. Some like firefight King of the Hill shit or something, I think it was. I don't know. Whatever that is.
Laptops, but that's for disclosure. But Alex's theory is that most of this is coming down to that 13.
Oh, dude, you kidding me.
That is a big part of why we like this so much in the first place. But having a higher resolution, higher brightness panel has a big effect on your battery life. For general usability, I'm sure that some people would sacrifice some battery life for a better screen, but I'm sure that a lot of people would actually do the opposite.
Oh, just don't take it out. Don't take it out. Remember, it's on, and we still need to get the webcam to pop up. Originally, we did think that it had no DRAM tech, but system info shows it did.
I don't see it either. You know what? If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably using system memory. Yeah, so it's probably just doing a really poor job of that. Maybe that tool, that utility that you guys are using. This does not have DRAM on it, though. It's physically. For that matter, does the have a DRAM cache?
Oh yeah, it has an actual Samsung SSD. One thing that we did notice, though, is that it does get slower under really, really long workloads, but this is plastic, which isn't a great heatsink, and it does go.
With that said, when talking to people about what's important to them in a laptop, you'd be surprised how many people don't need to run long Blender renders and don't care if it eventually overheats. I'm also surprised to find out how many people didn't care about decent battery life. I mean, I get it. If it's just going to sit on your desk at home or on your desk at work and only be a couple of hours away from the wall a day, that might be livable for you. So, if you're in that boat, Chewy is fantastic in every other way in price. Otherwise, you might have to make some compromises for a more not fatally flawed product.
Sniper down over there.
Along with a link to our sponsor, Delete Me. Delete Me has a strong moral intuition that companies who constantly share your personal information online without your consent probably shouldn't be doing that. So Delete Me's mission is to help you find and remove hundreds of online profiles that are sharing your personal info, which can be used by scammers to bombard you with
I feel like a lot of Call of Duty maps fall under that category.
It can even lead to identity theft or fraud, and fun fact, moving all this information by yourself is possible, but it would be an hours-long slog. And thanks to Delete Me's software and their team of experts, they can shorten that time to just minutes. On average, Delete Me finds and removes over 2,000 pieces of data for a customer in their first 2 years, which is as helpful as it is kind of scary. So if you want to go back to when you only got phone calls from your mom, go to joindeleteme.com/LinusTechTips and use code LTT for 20% off.
Overshield over here.
Some folks may have noticed this thing chilling under the table. What on earth will we need 700 CFM and 115 miles per hour for? Then we went, why does it have like a...
All right, it's on the field.
Well... This is our... This is our 120 volt, 12 amp leaf blower. And I went, well, let's see what this can do for a PC. But then we had to try it out. The reason why I'm wearing Band-Aid, we have an exploded fan, and there's a mess all over the shop. The all-new IQ Link ecosystem for Corsair finally removes all the cable clutter from your PC. IQ Link components synchronize RGB lighting and settings between connected devices with a single wire, creating a chain of devices on a single port via the Link Hub. Take control of your system and ditch the clutter by following the sponsored link in the description below. Alright, so, we're recording this dangerous, it hurts, okay? What I had done is I went, I would put the fan on the end of the TV, and I was holding it there like this. And I turned on the blower, and it went, whoop. We were like, ah, and then all the blades rapidly disassembled at the same time, and right into my hands. The damage was minor, but the potential for danger was high. So, that being said, as we move forward, I'll be using iPro and all that stuff. But my initial thoughts were, what I wanted to do with this was attach this thing on the end.
I was concentrating on getting blown up.
Down to a 2.5-inch piping system, through an automotive intercooler, and into, well, said heatsink right here. In fact, I even had Nick 3D print an adapter to go onto this to the 2.5-inch pipe. The problem is twofold. The reason why I wanted to do that was this isn't the first time we've done the leaf blower thing. But what I learned from that is that compressed air warms up compressed air. So when air gets compressed, it warms up. When air decompresses or rapidly decompresses, it gets cold. So I went, well, we'll pump it through an intercooler, that way we can cool it off. So that'd be a stupid experiment. One of the things I do when I'm bored is just like, what does 11-year-old Jay want to play with today? Right? And I thought, leaf blower to intercooler, piping to intercooler, PC fans on the intercooler, blowing air through the intercooler, to CPU to show the most inefficient and stupid way to try and cool down a CPU. Never mind the fact that this pulls something like 1400 watts or whatever it is when it's at full power. Definitely the inefficient way to keep it cool, right? Considering the CPU pulls an actually about 350 watts when overclocked. But then I noticed this is not. I'm unplugged. This is not. I thought I was.
Copyrights.
I thought that I realized this is not a turbine.
They'd have to get the copyright license from the manufacturer.
So the idea here is this super fast motor.
Well, because it was called like the odd fucking 45 or something stupid at work. I don't know why they call them what they call them now, like the Camaro. Why the fuck is that the name of the gun? Who knows?
It's even got the jet kind of a cone on there, which is designed for aerodynamic reasons as the air passes through. And then as the air is leaving, it's pulling other air with it to speed up the velocity. And it's just creating this straight through blow design that is not getting warm. So now we're just gonna... But I have to be careful because the amount of power this thing has, like, it's no joke. You guys saw that clip in the beginning? That stuff was legitimately blown off the table by this. Initially, I was gonna take this and I was gonna gaff tape it to there, and that's how we were gonna get the air coming out of the intercooler piping. Look at that. Right? So we were gonna take the air out of the intercooler piping, plumb it onto there like this. So, gaff tape it down. But then what I found is when I put this coupler on there, which is a pretty aggressive step down from
how the fuck
4-inch down to 2.5, we actually have a lot of back pressure, and we would have a significant loss in thrust. So I can demonstrate that right now. On the lowest settings, we have this forgot it was plugged in. That actually scared me. So it clicks on, that's the lowest setting, and then we have all the way to cruise control, apparently. But on the lowest setting right now, creates enough thrust to where this thing, Nick, get the scale. The weight matters. To see it move, knowing its weight, you can then do some math to figure out like what the actual thrust force is. I'm not gonna do that math today. That's like 3,000 grams. Now the reason why I have this switch is for terrible, terrible reasons. This is full power. It's gonna like torque turn.
Ground vehicle delivery confirmed.
Oh, did I blow off the... Oh, I did! Oh no! It fell off and smooshed. It's okay, it'll still work for our purposes. I'll buy a new one. But what I wanted to demonstrate now is with this on there. Oh, I have to do this first. And yeah, with this velocity tube, if you will, it still has, and it weighs even more, obviously.
They're close.
It still has enough velocity to move itself pretty aggressively. But now what I want to show you is with the adapter on there.
Another one down.
You need to mark which side it's on.
There. My point is, it's at full speed right now.
Okay.
Another one down.
You can't even hear the restriction of air in here. So the torque was able to turn it over as an electric torque on that motor, but it doesn't go forward, right? It doesn't thrust anymore. So now, okay, so if you want another visualization that we are not embellishing, there's a reason why they put the handle there, okay? Because this is how you'd be like, oh, please. Oh no! Uh-oh! You're gonna push it back up. Alright, so obviously we need to know how this cooler performs with a bent corner and a stock fan before we can get any sort of like tangible result to say if it's worth it or not. Alright, so I've got the Noctua thing. What is it called? So, well, NHU12A. Push-pull, heat sink, one bit corner, it's fine. Tons of airflow coming through here. Fans are set to 100%. In terms of our CPU settings, I'm just on XMP2, and then let BIOS optimize for core settings. The voltage and stuff is not static. I'm just looking for any sort of AV comparison. I'm a little concerned. You have to rotate this, and we have to like hold. I don't know how I'm gonna like how we're integrate it down. I guess just looking over and getting the device. I had problem solved. Okay, so here's what we're looking at right here. We care about our P4 and E4 temperatures. Load. The voltage are now well going down. Let's just see how this one's going. No droop down.
This dude just lives on the rocket launcher spawn.
94,
Fucking pussy. That's all he does.
The cores are all in the
He's got like 10 kills and they're all with the fucking rocket.
332 watts. Oh, there's 100C. There's 100C. This whole overclock was sort of set for like only at 38,586. Yeah, definitely throttled a little bit. Because remember, this is on the water cooler. I was able to hit like 40,600 or whatever it was. Yeah, so right around the 37,000 and change mark. But you know what? I'm gonna leave this same boot. That way, nothing has changed with any of the voltage stuff. Here's what I'm gonna do. Unband. This is the lowest setting. And it's actually looking...
The enemy has your flag.
The enemy carrier has revealed themselves.
Look, that was already faster than... That was already faster, like, 4 hours in a minute.
An ally returned our flag.
Still running. Right at 37,872.
What the fuck?
You might be asking yourself.
Why would you run away from me with it?
So in terms of the noise limit, right?
Yo.
Oh, yeah.
What?
According to
Why would you just run
California
past the guy,
Department
top
man? A California-equipped automobile shall not exceed 95 decibels. This is not California legal. I know it's very difficult for you guys to really kind of hear over camera how loud it is. Like, my throat hurts from yelling. Okay, is this practical? No. Was this fun? Yeah. I'm still going to use this to dry my cat off, which is honestly how I wanted it. One person from one of the... What's that piece? We got a piece of the fan over here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Here's one of the blades that ejectoed off of there. But you know what? This wouldn't be a J video if we didn't find a way to get my money's worth.
No, you're not. Don't lie.
Alright, so at the end of the day, what do we learn? Ideas that seem impractical usually prove to be. But realistically, it shows how you can't overcome. There's only so far you can. You can't overcome a cooler's limitation in terms of the amount of heat capacity it's able to. So, for instance, clearly we exceeded through airflow a diminishing return, where by adding more airflow, that was not giving us any better temp at all, because of the fact that the cooler itself, given the amount of heat that was going into the cooler and its ability to absorb that heat, put it through the vapor chambers, get it to the heat fan, the sink, and radiate out, is too slow, even given a higher exchange of air. So that's only half the equation. Air through the heat exchanger, but then the heat exchanger has to also absorb the heat to the exchange. That's why water cooler tends to perform so well.
Oh, they're about to take our flag. We got 2 vehicles on our flag.
So these are usually pretty fun experiments to just show you guys, like, here's the concept of
do something about it.
Why things are what they are.
Well, I already got done.
So it ends up me hurting myself in some way. I really want to explode that fan for you guys to see, but I can't. I can't do this safely. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Oh yeah, that's not important.
Hello guys and gals, me Moodaholic. It's like a Persona 4 rainy day outside, okay? God, I hope nothing bad happens to the fog that's off. But ladies and gentlemen, you know who's really, really funny to me? Sniper Wolf. Now,
God damn it.
One of the largest channels on YouTube, 34 million subscribers, okay? And of course, our content is, as you can imagine, TikTok reactions. TikToks are only for the good. You've got TikToks that are only for the good. Very, egalitarian. You laugh, you lose. And then sometimes we're reacting entirely to Darwin being enthusiastic. Okay? Now, Sniper Wolf is not the only person on the internet who's a Carlos Mencia, where he basically steals content. If you make a joke in your TikTok, rest assured, it'll be cut out and she will use that joke instead, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to watch me for that. Jax, ooh, ah, something came up in my throat, that's not good. Jax Films actually made a astonishing amount of videos covering Sniper Wolf's theft of content, and the fact that she basically is the biggest YouTube regurgitator, okay? Why need Reddit? Why need this? Why need the For You page? Just use Sniper Wolf. Her channel pretty much uploads anything popular on the internet anyway. Now, this would be okay if her content was actually transformative. But I would wager in a court of law, her content is not transformative. Basically, another one down. Rocking transformative commentary. But hey, what do I? I'm not a lawyer. Really, actually ask the lawyer. Of course, you're not the only person. You've got Jason Derulo, one of the oldest R&B singers I know from the Paleolithic era, whose shorts page has been transformed into a re-upload page. But except now, ever since he started to get called out, he's doing this hashtag got permission to post. So one of the videos I found was of this dog, the face got permission to post. The video that he uploaded is just his music on top of it. But obviously the actual video from Odin's Swiss Shepherd Yeah, I bet he really enjoys the fact that nobody watched it on his channel. I'm sure he got the permission to post. I mean, hey, you can't lie on the internet. Come on now, seriously. Maybe he did. Like, look at this one. He got permission to post here, but this Lego one, he's like, oh, hell no, I didn't get permission to post, but I'm still posting it on the channel. Get out of here. It's insane. But at least that's better than Sniper Wolf. At least he actively is going out of his way to credit and request permission from creators. Whether that part is true or not, I'm not exactly here for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reason I'm covering Sniper Wolf again is because she is unhinged. And I'm not going into lawsuits, I'm going into what happened literally last night. Sniper Wolf just doxed me on her Instagram. Creepy, gross, violated. What you do is disgusting. You steal content and stalk YouTubers. Whoa! Heavy claims there. So IP is Instagram. The stories is basically, you know, Instagram. You can upload a story to it that stays up for like a week. I don't have to explain stories, okay? Should I go visit Jack?
Hey, this is actually the most outrageous setup I've ever attempted. I've got the normal Sony camera balancing on a small beam in the hotel room here that's looking like a high wire out of a circus. And I have it propped up a little bit with the laptop flipped down and slightly angled at an obtuse angle in order to prop it up just a little bit so you can see my face. I don't know what it looks like. You might be looking at just like my bottom chin, so I'm going to look like the secretary from the Powerpuff Girls, but we're going to run it anyway. So, as you can see, I'm still on my little home. In my hotel room, don't be alarmed. I know I'm not wearing a white shirt, but this isn't a cry for help or anything. It's very cool. I threw on one of the only long sleeve shirts that I had available. So that's the whole explanation there. Anyway, the reason I urgently scrambled here to get into this video because a huge story has been developing over the last 2 hours.
Enemy has the ball.
Where Sniper Wolf has now lost Jax. I'm sure this is something that a lot of you are moderately familiar with, but I'll just go ahead and give you the really brief nutshell rundown. I didn't make that cut right there on purpose. It has nothing to do with the whole video, but I need to mention this. The camera just fell on its own and stopped recording. So we may have an angry poltergeist incident here. I'm gonna have to get the fucking Luigi Mansion vacuum out and just start rolling around in here to clear the area, exorcise whatever spirits happen to be haunting this room. But I'm gonna finish the video regardless. But you see my eyes rolling in the back of my skull and I start levitating on the chair currently. Just know, it's a haunting in Pittsburgh here.
Hit him with a grenade!
The cringe was too unbearable here with the subject recovery. But anyway,
you guys know the object is get the ball, right?
Huge channel. She mainly does TikTok reacts, which has made her the punching bag of the internet recently. She's caught more fire than the sequel to the Hunger Games because a lot of people have been stating that what she does isn't really reacting to content, it's mainly just stealing it, rebooting it. And the entire internet has come together with this giant singularity collapsed onto Sniper Wolf as well as some other React channels as well for this type of content. And by far the biggest soldier on the front line of this battle is Jax Films. Jax Films made a whole video going over why what she does isn't acceptable, and even made an entire channel dedicated to fun of her content. And he even has an entire bingo game that takes the content more than a catheter takes the piss out of a hospital patient. He has a daily episodes of just making fun of each of her daily reacts. This ongoing feud has been escalating and continuing for quite some time. We're in like season 5 of this thing now. Only
up top.
And this whole situation has led to a can of worms opening. Pandora's
to your right, Tupac.
Unleashed. So it's been a massive conversation across the entire internet with tons of content creators weighing in on it, such as Dark Viper having an entire series on React content. Mudahar has made quite a few pieces on it as well. There's tons of channels that have talked about this thing. And it's led to this cauldron, this stew that's been brewing and bubbling. And now the cup runneth over, and all of this has spilled from the internet to the real world. Allegedly, Sniper Wolf has just doxed Jax Films. In an Instagram post, she posted this. And it revealed this picture here. Apparently, she even posted one of his house, which obviously I'm not going to show you. I'm not here to just like hop on and give you like a 4K display of Jax Films dojo here because Sniper Wolf put it on the story. It's just a degenerate, fucked up response to this whole situation from Sniper Wolf here. It's borderline illegal, I think. I don't think you can just dox somebody like this. And if it's not illegal, it's against YouTube's rules at the very least. And it violates the Geneva Convention of Internet Content Creators, where you never take it's just going too far with this whole thing. Jax Films was just making critiques on our content as well as making fun of it, which is something everyone does all the time, every single fucking day. And to go to this extreme, where you stand for it, is just an incomprehensible, insane
There's two coming up top.
Now, Jax Films posting about this on Twitter obviously gained a lot of traction. This isn't exactly some kind of like whoopsie-daisy moment, you know, mistake that could happen to anyone. This is some pretty malicious shit. There's not really a defense of it. You can't just make the claim like, well, I just wanted to kind of talk it out face to face. Like, no. That's not how this works. You don't go up to someone's house like you're about to try and sell them, hash out your internet feed unannounced.
One more coming up top.
Especially not in the middle of the night too. That's threatening. Like that is.
He just went invisible up top.
Normal, sane way of handling things. So when this started getting traction, Sniper Wolf herself got onto it and deleted the post and said this. He said, accusing me of doxing is defamation. I have no idea how to dox. He literally posted his address on Google and said I threatened him and doxed him. Jax Films said, you posted a video tonight of you outside our home to your 5+ million followers to see while my wife and I were inside. You can't make it any simpler than that. If that's not doxing, why you do it? That's kind of a checkmate moment right there. He got what the scholars made. Like, you showed up to his house unannounced, in the middle of the night, and then when people started to point out how that's not acceptable behavior and is very much in line with doxing.
Come back to us, come back to us, come back to us.
That it's bad. I don't really know how you Phoenix write an argument together that it's not doxing. Like, I don't even understand the statement she makes about saying Jax Films posted his address on Google. She's talking about Google like it's the game FAQs.com board. Like, I don't think he made a sponsored paid post with just his address as the first thing that comes up when you type in Jax Films. You definitely have to go out of your way to find that information. I don't think he, like,
One more there behind you, to your left, behind you, behind you.
Go stop, and he, like, really was advertising where he lives. Like, this is not common.
Staying in that hallway, he's hurt.
Out of your way to find it and then went to his address. Like, I just really can't think of any justification for it. I've seen a couple of people dumping massive amounts of copium, nearly toxic levels of copium, saying like,
pick up the ball.
Handle things like an adult, unlike Jax Films, who speaks behind a computer. That's just straight up delusional, if you ask me. No normal people are going to catch out their internet feed in the middle of the night in person, unannounced, right? Like, going up to his house like she's about to, you know, sell soda or something and ambush him with this conversation about this feud.
Go in that corner up top.
Not normal or acceptable. It's just like a malicious, weird thing to do. And over, wow, that man, a ghost just haunted my vocal folds on that one. That was like, goodness gracious. Overall, I'm just shocked that Sniper Wolf, with as long as she's been on the internet and as large as she is, to think for even just a second that she'd somehow be able to get out of this situation without huge backlash. Again, this is something that extends beyond just like normal internet etiquette. This is like downright against rules.
4 more seconds.
So I definitely think Jax Films is in the right here. He's very upset about it, probably a little concerned because, you know, who knows who else might go to his house next since she posted it on a massive. Like, that is a
good work, good work, good work.
She also posted this again in response to the whole situation, saying this creep has been harassing me for months, then plays victim, saying I threatened him when I just wanted to talk to him. I have no ill intentions. It's so sad when people have to constantly drown out their reels. But this doesn't make any sense. Like, this is a crazy of a statement. Like, it's taking all kinds of weird turns that aren't computing in my little noodle up here. If you just wanted to talk to him, why wouldn't you just reach out?
Throw some grenades.
I'm sure he would have just responded to you instantly. He seems to respond to everyone about everything in regards to reaction. So I feel like if you had reached out to him, he would have been thrilled to talk to about it. But again, I'm not his fucking PR guy. I don't know. Maybe you did reach out to him and he didn't see it, or you phoned it. I have no idea. But regardless, you going to his house to try to talk to him, that's some psychopath shit. That's not the normal thing that anyone should be doing. There's other channels that he could have tried beforehand. Go to one of the bingo nights on Twitch and be like, hey, listen, Buster, I'm ready to hash it out. Let's talk. And again, I'm sure he probably would have seen that, and that would be a lot less scary than having you show up in the middle of the fucking night to his home unannounced. I think the goal here was to either scare him or put his information out there to maybe some less unsavory individuals that could also scare him. I don't know, but regardless, the way he handled this is atrocious and dangerous, like downright like dangerous thing to do. So I totally understand the response from Jack's Films about this and being frightened by it, because this is fucked up. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because I think this is one of the rare cases of a huge YouTuber making a massive blunder like this, where you would step on like actual rules and
going from the lower left
all over some internet feed. So yeah, I just had to talk about this one a little bit.
Genghis Khan. You know what a Genghis is? Enemy has the ball.
One upstairs.
You want to talk about a true Sigma male man who secured his bloodline, dude? Ball dropped. Genghis, the guy from the Sigma grind set videos? Dude, have they ever done that? Have they used him in that? Should we look? There's no way. Right? Genghis. Enemy has the ball.
When he was alive, they killed somewhere between 50 and 60 million people.
Gee.
Yeah. Like 100% of the
This is on the Sigma life. Who really just didn't fucking conform, stayed true to his beliefs, who stayed on his grind, and brought to the world what he thought was best, Genghis. And what do you think was best? He's fucking nut. He knew that if he planted that seed in as many people as possible, the world would be a better place. And what do we have now? Yeah, we've got fucking VR hentai. Genghis Khan was for the streets.
Genghis Khan was all preach.
What? Dad! Hey, let's not frame it like the dude was into Daddy Down roleplay. He was right.
Nations carbon footprint significant. Climate change should be ignored.
Killing people in the Middle East? I guess kind of. We did do that. Sigma grind set. Raise an army of mobile archers and get to rape it. Was Genghis Khan the first true Sigma
Good
male?
game. Holy shit, we came back.
Alexander the Great was the first Sigma? No, man, look, no one who's truly Sigma would call themselves the Great. No way. Look, a true Sigma, do you want to know what he'd be called? You know what I mean? He'd be called Alexander the Gamer. You know what I mean? If he was a real Sigma, he'd be called Alexander the Misunderstood. You know what I mean? Alexander the Joker. Alexander the Lone Wolf. Alexander, student of the Blade.
Let's turn now to the war in Eastern Ukraine, of course. Specifically, Reuters is reporting, we can put this element up on the screen here, that Finland has said, quote, outside activity likely damaged a gas pipeline and a telecoms cable. A subsea gas pipeline, Reuters says, and a telecommunications cable connecting Finland and Estonia under the Baltic Sea have been damaged in what may have been a deliberate act, the Finnish government said on Tuesday. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said NATO was sharing its information over the damage and stands ready to support the allies concerned. Finland joined the military alliance in April, while Estonia has been a member since 2004. The Baltic Connector gas pipeline was shut on early Sunday on concerns that gas was leaking from a hole in the 48-mile pipeline. Finnish operators said that it could take months or more to repair. We do have some video, actually, of that press conference yesterday. It's in Finnish, so we're going to do a little reading of the so the information that the Border Guard and the Coast Guard, this is the Prime Minister of Finland, received this morning. The leak is located in the Finnish exclusive, according to a preliminary assessment.
What is up, peeps? Hope we're all doing well, enjoying your day so far. A while back in this channel, we talked about a pretty crazy League of Legends story, and the latest one, well, that's now wrapped up with a gigantic find. We talked about Cloud9 mid laner, that being Eminez, and some treatment of another League of Legends streamer, which people had a lot of mixed opinions on. To keep it a short TLDR, they were in a ranked game as many League of Legends top ladder people are. And well, apparently things did not go Eminez's way, as he was not very fond of the way that another streamer known as Spearshot was playing the game, either early on playing the laning phase or maybe even the champion he selected. We'll never really know the full details on this, but it was actually him saying to that European streamer known as Spearshot, "You're a disgusting EU streamer, go back."
Let's give them a hard time. General quarters. Good luck, everyone. Awaiting instructions.
Whoa, motherfucker.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon. Fighter airborne. Torpedoes to starboard. The ship is on fire. Torpedoes to starboard. Torpedoes to starboard. Fighter returning to ship. Problem solved, sir. Torpedoes to starboard. The ship is on fire. Critical engine damage. Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire. Airborne. Problem solved, sir.
Back to your country, please. And it was something met with a lot of different reactions because some people thinking, okay, for a League of Legends streamer, that's quite soft. On the flip side, though, as a pro player representing an esports organization, you probably can't say those kind of things, especially if you do flip the roles. The way that I painted this last time is, yes, League of Legends is by far and away the most toxic video game out there of all time. The things that people I have seen said or even said to me are pretty crazy. So this seems kind of light, right? If this was said to me, would I be offended? No. But if the roles were reversed, right? If a North American player was saying this to an Asian streamer, you better believe it would be making headlines. And at the end of the day, is it appropriate for a pro player to be saying these things? No, especially when Eminez has a history of bad behavior and other streamers started coming out and saying, oh yeah, this is the guy that told me that I should die in real life last time I played with him, which again is not a good look when it's not a one-off thing. And if you're Cloud9, you're like, dude, you represent us. Like, you got to hold yourself to a higher standard, you know?
Eminez. Who the fuck is Eminez? It's the Cloud9 mid laner. I've never seen it. You know, he told me to end my life in solo queue. Hey, it did though. Oh, the syndrome? Yeah. Eminez? Yeah, it's like insanely toxic. Is he? Who the fuck is he? I've never seen this guy on live. Yeah, I played in Excel before on EU. Yeah, I can show you on stream or not. Yeah, what? I don't care. I even like commented on Twitter, I was like, how did he pass behavior check? Because he used to always type in all chat that he hates one quick promise and they should not quit the game, and then he just told me to end my life. Because I played EX support instead.
And so no matter what you guys think about that, you can say soft, you can say hard, you can say whatever you want in the comment section down below. The LCS have now responded, and I would say a bit heavier-handed than a lot of people saw coming, as they have now fined Eminez $15,000 and also subject to him to professional training, or I should say educational training on professionalism before the next season starts. $15,000 for saying that, and I can almost guarantee, it's a lot of money, and that's a good way to maybe check someone's attitude, because I can guarantee you guys, I would probably stop being that toxic if I had to pay $15,000 every time I said something like that, you know? And the responses were a wide array. I think a lot of people understand, okay, Cloud9 professional organization, you represent them, you're held to a higher standard, you're also a pro player in the LCS, you represent them, right? When people say Eminez, they think LCS, so they're going to have to respond to this. I think on the flip side, there are people being, oh really? There's a lot more toxic things said by ranked players and streamers every single day, and they get away with it, $15,000 maybe a bit heavier than I would have thought. I would have thought a few $1,000, maybe some educational training, maybe even a warning for something like this, but clearly the LCS saw it as you have a history of bad behavior and you keep on doing this, we got to correct you at some point, and it's just a major correction, So what do you guys think about this? Cloud9 Eminez now charged $15,000 for saying, you disgusting EU streamer, go back to your country, please. Do you think it's fair? Do you think it's harsh? Do you think it's soft? What do you guys think? Next time, take care of yourself. Drink up. We got a lot of stories coming out. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you back here soon.
I hate online gaming. I can get the dopamine hit after quick water, but after the box is opened and the dust settles, I am left with so much trash. And I never see bubble wrap anymore, so it's not even fun. It's just cardboard boxes and poly mailers and graph paper and things. They get everywhere. I somehow don't have any right now, but these? Imposter. Because our skills find the cost to figure all of this out, we are diving into packaging's past, exploring its present shortcomings, and building our own solutions for the future. 3, 2, 1, go! Thank you to our patrons for supporting the channel, and to the Oppo Inspiration Challenge for sponsoring this video. Learn more about the global finalists who are finding inspiration for people and for the planet by clicking the link in the description. So, I've got a few leads on the evolution of packaging, but it's a little more sparse than usual. While doing all of this theoretical research, I also want to take a more practical approach. Hello, would you guys like to pack some eggs? Not really. A little farm? I'm currently on a quest to try and figure out why there are so many packaging options, and why so many of them are trash, figuratively and literally.
Let me show you my pilot shed. Look at this! There's loads of packaging that I need to break down. I just put it in a different room and close the door. I'm gonna be able to just throw these things away. I want it to be built out things from the land.
Or what if we just have less packaging overall? Or less wasteful packaging overall, but we don't have to throw it out into the land, you know what I mean? I want us to test our ideas by packaging eggs and then throwing them out a window.
I think I'm doing a different thing. I'm busy. Sounds like a problem.
Bye!
Bye!
gosh, I'm holding this egg and I'm realizing how fragile it is. This is going to be now, when I'm thinking about this design, I don't want to have to do anything, but I think that's just wasteful. Let me just see what happens.
For too long, modern man has conceived of modern solutions for modern problems. It's you. In the olden days, farmers would use rakes made out of wood, hay, and sawdust and salt. Things, have I done any research as to if they ever did that? Let's do this.
What the fuck?
At some point in time, they did use wooden boxes for eggs. So after one Google search, that's what I'm gonna do.
I just ordered the thing that I'm going to use for my egg drop. I don't even know if it's gonna work. Anyway, I just did some reading in the meantime, and I found that while it's obvious why consumers would care about packaging, right? I found this business service bulletin that said that the Association of American Railroads estimated payouts of $100 million a year in damage claims from shipping companies. And that's in 1955 money. So everybody cares about good packaging. What does that look like? It usually comes in 3 parts. A protective container to isolate the item and deflect damage, a container to hold it and take impact, and void filler to reduce movement. All of these are important, but frustrating given how unsustainable it can be. It would just be great if there were more sustainable options.
When I was younger, I was in Scouts and we made rafts out of log and ropes. My thinking was sticks and string could make something similar but smaller. What I'm thinking is that a tiny raft shape like this could become one side of the then I could build a little stick box that I could fill with sawdust and straw and things. But yeah, only problem is, I don't remember anything about how I made a raft. That has completely failed.
The rewraps around the 240, and then you're doing 2 wraps around the wrap.
It worked. It only took me multiple hours, but I made progress. Get that up. I'm back to square one. Okay, step 2 of working. It's so hard. How about we take a break from this mess to figure out how our pattern solution? So I'm thinking we can use a pencil sharpener to sharpen the sticks and then use the pencil shaving of our sawdust one stick produces, and I need to fill this one down and more to go.
So I just found out that some of the earliest packaging solutions were way more sustainable than they are today. There's this trade journal from 1894 that talks about how bottled goods were packed in barrels and surrounded by sawdust. And then there's this one that talks about packing eggs. I know that Tahoe trying to build something sustainable, so maybe he came up with something similar. He might have some insights as to why we stopped using it. I don't... You had a lot, but now that I see the egg in there, you got a way to go. Okay, so after talking with Taha, I realized that a lot of the problems he and I have could be resolved with biodegradable plastic made from sustainable resources. I know that sounds like science fiction. I always thought plastic couldn't biodegrade, but that's not true. I've encountered it, and you may have too with compostable straws. Not paper straws, those are garbage. They're straws made out of this organic plastic called PLA. Unfortunately, it only biodegrades under certain conditions. However, some companies are working on better options, like Lufa, a finalist in the 2023 Auto Inspiration Challenge. They invented bioplastics that are certified to biodegrade in various environments, including water, with some of their plastics degrading almost as well as cellulose. So it has the flexibility and control of plastic without leaving such lasting waste. It looks like Lufa is solving one of the problems that caused other sustainable packaging solutions to eventually fade out of the packaging game. You see, after World War II, consumerism was on the rise, and the art of cushioning was accelerating rapidly, and good packaging design was being increasingly recognized. We needed to start inventing synthetic solutions tailored for packaging.
Here's what I found. Obviously, I've got an egg carton, but you can't just drop. Once I eat the mushrooms that are in this bag, I will have an empty bag. I've got some leftover pasta, and I think I can use it in some way to like pack the bag. This is a lonely soft. This is the design that I'm going off of. We've got the egg. It's gonna go inside of an egg carton. I'm probably gonna like cut this. Then it's gonna go inside of here. Package that baddie up. We could stop there, but we want to make it a little bit more protected.
So I'm willing to bet that you know at least 2 of the major synthetic packaging solutions that came out in the 1960s. For example, packing peanuts.
Check this out. Egg.
While their origins are disputed, they improved on wood shavings with their signature squiggle shape. They're really interesting because when you overfill a box as recommended with packing peanuts, they compress and their shape makes them lock together to hold objects in place.
She's not moving. I'm a little worried that these things might still crack the egg. So what I'm thinking of is using this wool sock. I think we're basically set.
The second major invention was bubble wrap. While packing peanuts were excellent void fill, bubble wrap was wallpaper. Yeah, bubble wrap wasn't even designed for packaging. It's just that after it flopped as interior decor, the company behind it pivoted. Bubble wrap and other non-trademark cellular cushioning packaging materials were great at protecting fragile objects and dulling points during shipping. However, they had 2 major problems. 1. It is expensive to ship air. When companies ordered bubble wrap to use in their packaging, they had to order it with bubbles. So the company behind it actually established 38 factories in just 18 countries to keep manufacturing close to buyers. It was better than dealing with more complex shipping. Now you might be wondering why they had to ship it already inflated. Well, even though bubble wrap was expensive in the long run, the alternative of inflating plastic cushions as orders are packaged could be prohibitively expensive to start up. You need a demand high enough to justify the cost of machinery and training. Who could possibly meet that demand? All right. Yeah, so an overall increase in consumption and consolidation in distribution meant that certain companies were able to invest in this more efficient approach. It's likely why you haven't seen traditional bubble wrap